Okay, welcome to Play It Co-op Podcast. I'm here with Ben, and we're playing Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I asked Ben what game he wanted to play, and this is the one we decided to go with.
Oh yeah, got a little bit of experience with some Chip and Dale,
I don't have much experience with this game at all. I'm surprised I even have it. I think I got it down. I got it as like a hand-me-down game from my uncle. So I'm a little interested in it now because I didn't know you could actually play both characters at the same time. I thought it was just a one-player platformer.
Oh yeah, man, you take me back to like 1992, 93, 94. I don't know. Whenever this game came out, you probably catch me sitting down with a bowl of vanilla ice cream, playing some Chip and Dale with one of my friends for sure, along with some other games.
Yeah, me and my friends, we didn't get down on Chip and Dale like that. I don't know how hard this game is, but, at the time people were playing this, I was probably playing Kirby's Adventure.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of good games for NES. This particular game, I think, falls into category of very, simplistic mechanic games like Darkwing Duck comes to mind. You've got like Aladdin and Lion King game. All those games fall in that category. But really all you need to know is Mandy has lost her kitten. And Chip and Dale are about that life.
I guess so.
So we're going to find her kitten. Clearly Chip has got a thing for Mandy.
Can there be any more dialogue in this game?
I don't know, man. Let's see.
Oh, no. This isn't going good.
Alright, well...
What are we supposed to do?
So you can hide in a box. If you hold down, you can hide in a box. Keep the dog off you.
Alright, well, while we're in this early level, we do have some topics we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Super Smash Bros. Wii U, or Super Smash 4. We're going to talk about Evo tournament in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk a little UFC following the Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm fight. We'll talk about the... Oh man.
Talk about how you get bodied by those dogs. How about that?
The current...
I think I got a pop your balloon. Come on.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's like what's that game called? Super Mario 3D World. We're also going to talk about the top 5 NFL quarterbacks right now, the way we see it, and we're going to talk a little bit about trading card games.
Sounds like some good topics.
Yeah, so...
Should make for some interesting segues, being that all these things aren't necessarily related.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place. That's the way I want to keep it.
All right. Well, what do you have up first?
First thing is Super Smash Bros. 4.
Oh man.
Wii U.
Do you guys got time?
Oh man, come on, dude.
Oh well, before we even go, let me just say, are there checkpoints in this game, or are we just gonna have to really be playing? Because they took us back to the beginning.
Well, you were the one who said you knew how to play this game. I'm trying to follow your lead here.
All right. Anyway, so Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. I mean, what do you want to know? Like, probably the most popular fighting game out right now. Definitely the most popular fighting game out for the Nintendo Wii U. My favorite fighting franchise for sure. When it comes down to it, probably the game I've put the most hours into.
Yeah.
But you've got the game. Like, what are your opinions on the game? It's pretty much up there for you?
I mean, that's really the only game that I still feel like I have somewhat of a chance. Fighting game. Because if I play any one of these new Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter games, I mean, it's a wrap for me. So
yeah.
Even though I'm not the most skilled at Super Smash Bros. Wii U, I still like to play it, and I feel like I have a chance versus a lot of amateurs.
Oh yeah, man. It's a lot of kids on that game, so you can really get on there and wreck somebody real quick. I like it a lot though, man. When you play it, the more you play it, the more you realize that there really is a skill gap. There's a curve for sure. You can really learn some interesting techniques there, and it gets to a point where you're playing a really competitive game, and that's one of the things that drew me to the game whenever I used to play back on the Nintendo 64. I didn't realize it at the time because I was younger, but really was playing a highly competitive game, and things would get real interesting whenever me and my friends would play it. Did you play it on the Nintendo 64?
I play, yeah, that. Let's continue. I feel like we're going to be playing this level for a while.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those listeners, just disregard the gameplay, because it doesn't...
For now, I'm going to get better at this.
It doesn't look like we're finishing this game.
I just got to get into the rhythm of talking and playing at the same time. So far, it hasn't happened. But yeah, I played Super Smash Bros. On the 64, and I had great experiences with that game, especially the multiplayer. It was like nothing we ever seen before, with a mashup of characters that were Nintendo characters. Well, I guess you did see it because you saw Mario Kart, but it was just a fighting game, something you didn't see Nintendo really doing.
Yeah, fighting games are particularly good at capturing something that other genres can't do. They can really, sort of make dreams come true in a way. People always talk about fighting, how it's like in our DNA, to be competitive, to fight. And for those fighting games, a lot of kids would dream of seeing like Sonic against Mario, or, Street Fighter characters in the game with other characters. And that's something that we're getting now. And it's really interesting with this new version. They're going crazy with third-party characters. Now, for those that aren't familiar with Smash, 4, the first third-party characters that got revealed that really created a lot of buzz was like Pac-Man. They put Pac-Man in the game, and I know you like Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man's a Namco character, and they maintain a good relationship with Nintendo, and he's also a legendary character. One of the oldest ones there is, and he got put into Super Smash Bros. So.
Which is just fantastic. I love Pac-Man in the game. I love that Nintendo was able to acquire the license to put that character in the game. And it doesn't stop there. There's a lot of characters that they were able to put in the game. Ryu, which is probably one of the most iconic fighting game characters of all time. You've got him from Street Fighter in the game. Who else you got that is third party? Sonic.
Sonic's the biggest one. It's going to be hard to top that one, because Sonic and Mario were just rivalries because they were the best games on their consoles in the 90s with Mario and Sonic. Sonic on Sega, Mario on Nintendo. So with those two competing, you had like that Mario and Sonic Olympic games.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I used to like those games, actually. I was into all those Olympic, track and field, multi-sport games. I always had a good time with those. So the Sonic and Mario ones were no different for me. So yeah, they opened up the door with a lot of third-party characters, but recently, I believe it was just. Yeah, how am I gonna help you out? What I need to do?
I don't know.
Can I just sit on your head? Is that working for you?
No.
All right. How about Hold on. I think we need to stand on the box. Hold on a second. Can I drop the box? Oh shit. Here, I got an idea.
You got one?
Can I throw a box to you? Can you grab it?
Come on, we got no boxes left.
Alright, so...
What are you supposed to do?
Alright, Chip and Dale. Press down and B. Alright guys, we got a little bit of game experience challenges here. Alright, Tom, you're gonna have to do something.
I can't do nothing. You show me what you do on that side, and I'll emulate it.
Alright, so that's what you gotta do.
What am I supposed to do?
You gotta... Oh, man.
I mean, I can't even kill myself.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. This game's not flowing for me right now.
Alright, hold on a second. Oh! How'd you... Now I'm on a bottom! Now I'm on a bottom!
See you later.
Alright, get back over here.
Alright, show me what to do now.
Alright, I'm gonna jump, you gotta grab me.
No,
just
no.
press...
Wait, hold on. Let me take a dump on you.
No, just...
I gotta take one.
Alright, when I jump, press the button to grab me. Press B.
I'm trying, man.
No, back up off the... Alright. Now come back down there. Alright, stop jumping, stop jumping. Come down here, just don't jump.
This game's broken.
How did we get switched? Jump man, jump man, jump man. This was up or something. Jump man, jump man, jump man, jump man. Alright, anyway. We're probably gonna have to restart
Let's just
the video.
reset it. Don't restart the video, just reset the...
To a character, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Now, I don't know about you, but from my end, it seemed like the internet pretty much exploded whenever that news hit.
Yeah, I heard about the news with the Final Fantasy VII character, and I was happy for the fans of that game. For me personally, I didn't play that series, not into too many RPGs. I was a little bit underwhelmed just because it's another swordsman. But I understand how revolutionary it is because another third-party character, another big character from a well-known series, so it makes total sense. I'm not knocking it. Just for me, it's not anything to get me too hyped, but I understand everyone else.
So I gotta be honest, you know, when it comes to Final Fantasy, I am not the biggest fan of the franchise. You know, I played Final Fantasy VII. I didn't finish it, but I played it. So played it enough to know who Cloud is, enough to understand how excited people could be for that character. So for me, I'm just happy because I think it's going to bring more of a profile, a bigger profile for the game. You know, it's going to attract a bigger audience. You know, there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there that aren't fans of Smash, but are fans of Cloud and want to see him come back in the spotlight in some way. So I'm excited for those guys, and I'm excited to compete against some of those guys at EVO 2016.
I bet you there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans that are going to try to play Smash now because of it.
Absolutely.
They're going to get beasted.
They're going to get beasted hard. You know, I'm ready for them to come on board so I can show them what's what with Mega Man and Pikachu.
So Mega Man and Pikachu, those are your characters in the game?
Oh yeah. So as soon as the news dropped that Mega Man was in the game, I mean, I gotta be honest. I watched that trailer, you know, just way too many times. I was so excited for Mega Man to be in the game, and I haven't stopped playing with him ever since. Mega Man is one of my favorite characters, and so yeah, naturally I was pulled towards him. But I got tired of losing in some matchups. There's some tough matchups for Mega Man, so I had to grab a character that I felt could excel in some of those matchups, and for me, Pikachu's the guy.
Yeah, I was really surprised to hear that you were using Pikachu. That's who I like to use in the first 3 games, but with this one, the control scheme just doesn't, not the scheme, but the way he moves just doesn't mix with me anymore. So yeah, I ended up using Mega Man. I just like the way he controls in that game. That's what's cool about Super Smash Brothers is they really make a great effort to make the character control like they do in their respective games.
Yeah, that was something that just blew me away. I feel like Mega Man, out of all the characters, I feel like Mega Man is the most realistic, character to go along with that description you just gave. It's like you're making them play. It's almost like you're making your opponent play Mega Man. They have to do things that, are challenges for Mega Man. I vaguely remember doing this.
You got past the level?
You just gotta not get hit.
You're doing pretty well. Hey!
Yeah, I'm a rescue ranger, bro. What you expect?
Beat a level.
Zone zero. Not even. Alright, Fat Cat's trying to talk some nonsense. So Tom, you think you're gonna actually hit up a major tournament?
No.
No.
I'm not ready for the tournament.
Man.
I did get a Wii U specifically to play Smash Brothers, thinking like, if I just keep playing this online, I'm gonna be ready for a tournament.
And for a lot of people, that's where it starts. They play these fighting games. They play online. Online has just opened up a completely new experience for a lot of gamers, where they can play competitive from their living room with top players across the country. And that's what I do like about it. But at the same time, if you're new and inexperienced, that could easily be a rough one for you. Tom, where are you at?
I'm still deceased.
Can I unlock you?
Just keep going without me, and I'll join you when I'm ready.
I'm just gonna beat the whole game now.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh! Wow!
Caterpillar got you.
All right, that's not gonna happen again though.
So yeah, I went online. I gave it my best shot. I had about I want to say 33% win percentage.
Oh man!
I lost a lot of close ones. I tried different characters. I gave some good fights with Mega Man, or not Mega Man, Pac-Man, but I always just lose them. The guy that I was able to get victories with was Mega Man. I don't know if it's because its smash attack has such great range or the way he controls, but that's the guy I was able to at least 50-50 people, it felt like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, man. Mega Man's one of my tops, like I said. I had a little bit more success. Again, I've obviously been playing this franchise a lot longer than you have. But man, it saddens me that you kind of gave up on the game a little bit.
Well, I didn't give up on it. I still like the game. But as far as a competitive player, I just don't think I have the time or I'm going to be able to put forth the effort to be that good.
Oh, wow.
Come on, take care of this guy.
I'm hitting him with this.
Oh,
man.
He got you. Gave you a little pokage.
Hitting him with this cherry tomato. I mean, last thing you want to do is get hit in the face with a cherry tomato. So, but yeah, I mean, Evo. The thing about Evo is that it's not just about competing in the fighting game. From a spectator perspective, I gotta say it's one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had as a gamer, going to Evo and just experiencing that hype. I mean, I've been telling all my friends that enjoy video games that they gotta get out to Evo just to see the passion and energy that's out there. It's like nothing I've ever experienced.
Now, why do you think they don't include any sports games at Evo?
Well, that's a simple answer for you. It's a fighting game tournament, Tom. So,
well, come on, man.
So
can we get one? Can we get one in?
There's been talks before of something like a Mario Kart. It's not going to happen. They're not going to incorporate sports games at Evo. They might incorporate some sort of competitive sports type game, like a racing game. What is it called? What's it called? Rocket League?
Rocket League.
See, that's an interesting one because that's like competitive head-to-head. It's like a soccer game for those of you who don't know, where you're driving bumper cars and you basically use your car to propel the ball into the goal. and you can like ram the other car. It's a cool game. I think though, actually, the Evo game list has already been posted on their website, so that's probably something that I could comment on in just a couple minutes. But for now, I'd say to Tom, sports games are out.
All right. Well, the dream is dead.
Now there are other sporting game. MLG, I believe, has some sporting game leagues, so they do give some love to sporting games. As far as Evo is concerned, it's not gonna happen.
Here, I'll look this up. You continue on with Chip and Dale.
All right. So how do I get you back? That's what I want to know.
I'm shot,
Dude. So if we're critiquing this game, we got to say that there's a major opportunity for. Let me see your controller first. Let me make sure you pressed all the buttons you could press to try to come back.
Hey, Dale, that's it. That's all that's left.
Dude, this is Dale, the Rescue Ranger, no Chip and Dale. I felt like Dale was more of a goon anyway. Chip wasn't ready for what was going on. Dale's got this flannel on. He's been working out in the field all day. Trying to get those,
he's fielding it all
those
right.
acorns. He's been selling those acorns on the block. But yeah, for me, the Evo dates have already posted. We got Evo coming up. Oh, what? What was that?
Hey, we got 2 continues. I'm back.
All right. Yeah, so Evo dates. See, look at this guy. You can't take this guy serious.
Are these the games? So we got.
All right. What we
got?
got?
Street Fighter 4 Ultra.
Yeah. So you're looking at you're looking at the lineup here. What we got?
We got Street Fighter 4 Ultra, or Ultra Street Fighter 4, right?
Yes, sir.
And then we got Smash Brothers Wii U.
Absolutely.
Killer Instinct, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. We got Guilty Gear X.
Yep.
Which I have no idea what that is. Mortal Kombat X, Super Smash Bros. Melee, the P4A Arena,
Persona,
and Tekken 7.
All right, so right off the bat, first thing I notice is that list has no Street Fighter V on it. Street Fighter V comes out early next year. I have to say I'd be highly, highly surprised if that game is not featured at Evo. That might be a mistake. You gotta watch out for this guy. I don't know what that is, that green stuff is, but it's not our friend.
It's a huge mistake not to include the newest game.
Yeah. I mean, Street Fighter V, I had an opportunity to play the beta for that game, and man,
what did I?
You got killed by water. You gotta jump on this to turn the water off. So for you viewers at home, how do you guys think that Chip is doing right now? This is a chip off the old block, that one.
Oh, I see. The water kills you. Okay, that makes sense.
But you can just hide it in the box.
I'm terrible at this game. Oh, you hide in the box to avoid the enemies?
Yeah.
Oh, I just killed.
I just fell in the pot.
Yeah, I'm just.
All right, guys, it's the Dale show again. Now we can actually play the game.
I'm high.
Oh man, guess you can't hide in the box. One of the things I don't like about video games is when you acquire things and you don't know why you acquire them. What am I getting out of getting these little flowers? I'm not getting any more hearts.
Yeah, you don't see anything going up. Well, if you hit pause, doesn't it tell you like what you have?
Let me get this. Oh, I got a 1-up.
Oh, you'll be playing for a while.
So yeah, Street Fighter V, that game for me, I mean, it's something I've been waiting on, and the graphics are great. You know, new fun interactive game for. Oh my goodness. Street Fighter for the PS4. Oh, I'm out of there.
Oh, you got some guys.
Oh, I got another life here.
Oh yeah, you're still in there.
Oh, the acorns give you a heart back. All right, that makes
There you
sense. That makes sense. So Tom, seriously, you gotta come to Evo this year. It's a nice little setup. I got a couple friends I go with. I got my buddy Marcus and Clyde. We stay in Vegas. We used to do an Airbnb, so that we can have more comfortable lodging than staying at the hotel. Now the hotel's great, but just being able to kind of get off-site, get away from all the people, the buzz from the tournament whenever you want to is nice. And there's a lot of awesome accommodations there in Vegas. You gotta come check it out, man. I'm telling you. I know you aren't like super into Smash Brothers and super into other fighting games, but I'm certain you would have a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. It's something I want to check out. I'm a competitor, and if I don't feel like my skills are good enough to be in like the at least above average category, then it's not something I want to just go and get beasted on.
I got you. So then
I'm not just one of like those supporter guys. Like, oh yeah, like you're doing good, Ben, but I'll be out in the first round. I'll see you in round 2.
Yeah, well, I get it.
I'll be there watching you.
I get it, and there's so that is one of the layers to the tournament experience is supporting your boys. I mean, it's there, and I mean, let me tell you, I got salty last year when I lost. I got kicked out. I didn't make it out of my pool, and I was not in a good place. I was upset about it. But I still have my buddy Clyde in. Clyde actually made it out of his pool, so there was a lot of hype around that. We were supporting him. What does that P stand for? I got a D and a P.
You know what it is.
Oh yeah. How do I get these little alien?
Oh wow!
I got worked that round. All right, redemption. Redemption.
Pay attention to what you're doing.
God, he's just dropping suits on my head, man. Can I kill those guys? Oh wow!
Wow.
That was a rough one.
This game is not. It's a thinker,
You can't be multitasking and playing this game.
It's a co-op game, but you got to think about what you're doing. It's not like Ninja Turtles 2 where you can just hack away.
Yeah, you gotta really. Let's see, what are we gonna do? Tom, press down. You going? All right, that's what you're gonna do when the guy rolls up on you. Press
all
down.
right, I got it.
Just press down. Let me get beasted. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like Tom's into Evo, and that's cool. I'm going.
Well, what percentage of people are there do you think are like just bystanders that don't really care about that don't play in the tournament, that aren't necessarily that interested in most of the games?
I mean, half the people that we travel with are there just to support. They travel just to be in Vegas and just to support, there's usually like 5 or 6 of us, and there's only 3 of us that actually play games, whether it be just friends, girlfriends, whatever. I mean, they come just to, support and just be a part of the atmosphere. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. They have indie games that are there that you can play, games that aren't out yet, that aren't even fighting games sometimes. And, a lot of apparel, just a lot of cool stuff you can do. Oh, man. I went in the pot.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I mean, I could see myself getting into Smash again. I'm waiting for that character that comes out where I'm like, I gotta have him.
You're waiting for, let's be honest, Tom, there's only one character you're waiting on.
Who's that?
It's a Ninja Turtle.
I'm waiting for one.
You're waiting for a Ninja Turtle. That's the only thing that's going to get you excited.
I mean, I think it's possible, but I think Nickelodeon still owns the rights to Ninja Turtles. So.
Yeah, who cares who owns the rights, though? I mean, they proved that is not a barrier for them. Nintendo has that dough, and they can bring any character on board they want, pretty much at this point.
I don't know about any character.
What character would you say is completely out of bounds for Smash? No way that this character is going to be in the game.
Halo. The Halo dude.
Master Chief?
Yeah.
Alright, Tom, don't get me killed. Don't get me killed, Tom.
I'm just trying to avoid these dudes.
Don't get me killed. Tom, I'm trying to win here. Alright, for those of you who don't know, Tom has a hat on.
I'm doing it all.
Ah! Alright, watch out. Yes!
Got him. Hey.
Yep.
It's actually teamwork for once.
Alright, zone B clear. Alright, well, I guess Master Chief would be a rough one. That's a character that, you know, we're dealing with Microsoft at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
You're dealing with, you know, I don't know, man. They would really need to see what's in it for them. And let's be honest, they've had that character in other games. That character appeared, I believe, in Soul Calibur.
Okay.
It was a Soul Calibur or Tekken or something.
Probably on its own system, though.
Probably, yeah. It was on the Xbox. It was on the Xbox system. But it appeared in a fighting game. Is what I'm getting at. So it's possible. It's possible. I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Do we have to play this level?
I mean, if you go down to it, then that's basically you choosing it. You don't have to press a button to confirm. Alright, so a tennis playing kangaroo. Okay, and he doesn't die when you hit him once. Hold on, I got a vendetta with this guy. Yeah, get out of here.
How many times you gotta hit him?
I had to hit him twice. Either that or he hit a ball back.
He's a beast. So, let's move on to the next topic, which is, I want to talk a little bit about the UFC.
Oh, man.
Now, the UFC is something I've been resisting for ever since it started to get popular, since friends started watching it. And it's not really a strong resistance I'm holding against it. It's just, it never really interests me that much. But
yeah,
as I keep hearing about it, I hear other people talk about it, and I'm beginning to realize why it's so popular.
And let's be honest, you've been hearing about it for a long time.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it for at least 10 years.
And I mean, for me at least for 4 or 5 years. For those of you guys that don't know, I am probably the biggest UFC fan. Tom knows I am all about that sport. And it hadn't always been the case. Everybody has their initial exposure, or there's that friend that turned them on to it. You know, I kind of got into the UFC going to Buffalo Wild Wings. You just got wrecked by
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh yeah, back in my days in Shreveport, Louisiana, hitting up the Buffalo Wild Wings with a couple friends, and the fights happened to be on. And I'll never forget my first fight. It was a George St. Pierre fight. I think he was fighting somebody like Matt Serra or Matt Hughes, and I was just really intrigued by the domination. I was like, wow, this guy is like, you know, really good at what he does. And so, you know, I kind of went into a Google vortex, started checking out who this guy was, see what he was all about. And I appreciated his technical, he was so technically sound. He just, it made me realize that it's a sport and it's not just dudes banging each other in the head. Like, it's really crafty, and there's all these different martial arts. You know, the sport is mixed martial arts. And, you know, you hear that, and, you know, what that should tell you is it's made up of a lot of different things. And so, being somebody that used to be into Taekwondo in my youth, it's just something that just kind of resonates with me. But you don't have, like, a martial arts background in any way, do you?
No, the only background I have is, like, WWF.
And what a background to have. Yeah. Let me tell you.
I was DDTing, pile driving, vertical suplexing, all my friends.
And I'm not even joking. There's a lot of transplant. A lot of the USB fan base are transplants from that pro wrestling. I mean, that's something for me too. You got your characters. So pro wrestling is pretty much all character based. You don't have pro wrestling without the characters. And, you know, there's these guys in the UFC that really, you know, identify, that the pro wrestling fans can identify with. You know, you got guys like Chael Sonnen, and now you got Conor McGregor, even your Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, they all have their own they're their own characters for sure. They have their own personas.
Yeah, and they're starting to get to a point where they're talking all kinds of nonsense. I mean, back in the day, I know you know The Rock and you got your Stone Cold Steve Austin. You give those guys a mic, and they had your full undivided attention. Your mom comes in the room, hey, dinner's ready. And you're like, I gotta finish listening to what The Rock's saying. I'll be in there in a minute. So you got guys like that nowadays. Conor McGregor is probably my favorite. This guy, he gets in front of the mic and it's just like gold every time. He's just what he's got to say is just, it's always just spot on. He's very witty. He's very quick, and it's unscripted stuff. It's like, they ask him a question or somebody says something to him, and he just like, he responds just, very, very quick, and it's just amazing. It's so funny to listen to.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about, Conor McGregor and heard some of the stuff he said, and it just reminds me of WWE is what like the smack talk part of it.
Oh yeah.
And then also the UFC, obviously it's real compared to WWE, which is entertainment and it's scripted. But what you have is the variation of fighters that's, the similarities. Like back in the day when I watched WWE.
I don't know how I was supposed to get by that guy. Just saying.
Yeah, you can do it. There was guys that, they would, their finishers would be like Undertaker, Tombstone Pile Driver. You knew it was over. You knew it was rest in peace after that. But then there was guys like Ken Shamrock, who was actually from the UFC, that he finished it off with a belly to belly and then an ankle lock.
Oh yeah.
And there was different ways that people won. Bret Hart with the sharpshooter. Then you had like The Rock with the rock bottom, and then you had like more showman stuff with the showmanship with the people's elbow. So there was different. There's different ways that those guys win, and what I'm noticing in the UFC, come on, man, you can't beat Jack in a Box.
I'm sorry, I couldn't beat Dale, the Rescue Ranger. I thought this was Chippendale.
No,
where you been, bro?
I'm
there you are. There you are.
Oh,
catching a little sun with your little hat on.
I'm coming.
You gonna help me out this time?
I'm coming through. So, yeah, what I was noticing, the fighters all have different styles. That's what's cool about it to me. They all train a different way and have a different fighting style.
Yeah,
and
sure.
They all are trying to win, not necessarily the same way.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, style is a good word to use, but definitely it goes beyond just their style. They have different technique, and they're technically sound in different ways. So watch out, I'm about to throw this apple. Oh, it doesn't work. How do you kill this dude?
Just go underneath him.
No, you get bops. Oh, no you don't. Alright, cool. Made it through. Yeah, so oh my god. So yeah, you got a lot of different ways to win, and it's cool to see how those different ways are really leveraged. And the thing is, it's not just about being skilled in the offensive side of things for each of these styles. You got to be skilled in the defensive facet of each of those sports. So when you got wrestling, and then you have wrestling defense. You got striking, and you got your striking defense. And within striking, you have your Muay Thai, your kickboxing, you have your boxing. You've got all these different striking techniques, and to be able to defend against somebody that's going to attack you in the body, kick you in the legs, punch you, or somebody that's going to take you down. It's incredible to see that these guys train all this stuff. I just decided to jump in the pit. I didn't want anything to do with those balls.
How do you turn those off?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They're just for show. They're just for show. You can't. How are you gonna get through there?
So we're watching.
Oh, throw the ball. Throw the box straight up at this. Yeah, throw it up. Oh.
You're on the way. Throw me up there. Just gotta do it.
Alright.
Just gotta time it.
Oh no. Oh man, this is scary. Alright. Oh, it's just Chip now. Can Chip pull through? Can Chip pull through? So, why, Tom, did you decide to put UFC on the topics list for today?
Well, the reason I put it on there is because I wanted to talk about the Ronda Rousey Holly Holm fight, because that's what interested me to watch it. Because I've been hearing just all this stuff about Ronda Rousey and how good she is and all this stuff. And
yeah, so let's get a little more background on that. Like, when was the first time you heard about Ronda Rousey?
You probably told me about her, I want to say maybe a year and a half ago.
All right. And then, so you've been knowing about Ronda for a little while, knowing she's like real dominant. Oh, game over.
That was horrible.
The chip game is over. Oh man, here we go. All right, we're probably just gonna let this rock for a little while.
What, like this?
maybe just finish the topic off. I don't know if I got much love for Chip and Dale at this point.
I know, Chip and Dale, it's a tough one.
So when's the first time you heard about Holly Holm?
I heard about her maybe about 10 days ago.
So yeah, I mean, being a long-term fan of the sport, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, even knowing about Holly Holm, I used to watch her videos on YouTube. I knew about Holly Holm before she was in the UFC. I saw her, destroying her opponents in legacy fighting, and it was incredible because she is a pro boxer, like almost 40 fights. I think she was 33-2 in boxing or some ridiculous record like that. Had won every title to be won in boxing. Then she comes into mixed martial arts and she's taking out her opponents with head kicks. And it was something that nobody had anticipated, that her opponents did not train to defend against kicks to the head. And it turns out that Holly Holm in her youth was a big time soccer player. And she, really loved soccer and she loved to kick. So, being able to kick in a fight was just, a dream come true for her. So she started knocking girls out with these kicks. And, it got the attention of the UFC president. And so he finally got the deal done. And I know it took a long time. As things do, there's a lot of politics involved. But they finally get her in the UFC. And she was 2-0. Leading into the Ronda fight last weekend. Both of those fights being by decision and not being by utter devastation and annihilation. So anyway, that being some background, what was your opinion on the fight?
Well, I did watch the fight, and I think the reason I wanted to watch it is because I heard how great Ronda Rousey was. I saw highlights of her fights. And then, you gave me some background on Holly Holm. I'm like, well, it sounds like she's got some credentials to make this a real fight.
As did all of Ronda's opponents. Most of her opponents, like, just to quickly recap, I mean, some of Ronda's former opponents were former Strikeforce champion Miesha Tate. She was a champion, and Ronda is 2-0 against her. Both victories by armbar. But also the likes of fighters like Sarah McMahon, who is an Olympic medalist in wrestling. Somebody who has competed at the highest level, came in with a lot of hype, and got destroyed. So Ronda's opponents had not been cakewalks. She makes them look like cakewalks, and then people try to take away from Ronda, like, oh, she just hasn't fought this, she just hasn't fought that. But that's always been the response. And that was going to be the response if Ronda had annihilated Holly Holm. A lot of people didn't give her a shot. A lot of people said Holly Holm is going to get grabbed, she's going to get slammed on her head, and she's going to get armbarred. That's probably a direct quote by me. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought Ronda was going to grab her and was going to hip toss her with her judo background, and it was going to be over. But anyway, back to your opinion on the fight. How do you think it went?
Well, it looked like Holly Holm pretty much dominated that fight. I saw a lot of aggressiveness out of Ronda Rousey, but she really couldn't get a good hit in or take her down or anything. She came at her a few times. I saw that, but Holly Holm seemed like she had a lot of length and she had power in her punches and obviously her kicks too.
Yes, the biggest takeaway I think from that fight was that in ways that Ronda had excelled in the past, she was able to be completely neutralized. Ronda has knocked out opponents. She has showcased striking in the past. And that very striking credential that Ronda had got completely nullified and taken down to what would appear to some to be completely amateur level. I mean, her boxing skills paled in comparison to Holly Holm's.
Right, so that wasn't going to be the way she was going to take her out.
No, I don't foresee if there is a rematch. I don't foresee Ronda being able. I'm not saying she won't try. I'm not saying she won't train to box, but she's been training boxing. So I'm not saying that that's something she completely left out. But we're talking about a pro boxer for over 10 years or something to that effect. You're not going to beat that person at boxing from training boxing and MMA.
Right.
I mean, you've got people like Floyd Mayweather, who Ronda Rousey and Floyd have gone back and forth.
I think we know how that would end up now.
Well, yeah. So there's been some talk. I think Ronda talked about her being able to beat Floyd Mayweather in a mixed martial arts fight, and I mean, we kind of know now.
Yeah,
that's not the case. But I read an article where Floyd Mayweather has offered his services to Ronda. After the fight, he saw the fight. He said, this isn't the end of Ronda's career. She could bounce back, and I'm willing to help her train boxing. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a troll. It might be a troll. But let me tell you, the internet would break if there was any evidence that Ronda was training with Floyd Mayweather to box. Everybody would want to see how that fight would turn out. That would pique so much more interest in a rematch, if you're asking me.
You think Floyd Mayweather could train someone?
Well, Floyd Mayweather.
Is he understandable?
Yeah, so Floyd Mayweather might not be might not have the most boxing coaching accolades, but he's been training with his father. Floyd Mayweather Sr. has been his trainer, and there's a lot of other boxers that train in that camp. So I'm not thinking that by him offering that services, he means direct tutelage from him. It'll probably be a collaborative effort from the Money Mayweather team. But that sounds interesting to me. You take Ronda Rousey, somebody that's got, she's got it covered when it comes to judo, when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Her wrestling could probably deal with some tailoring. And I mean, who am I to judge? I'm not judging her. I'm just going off of her ability or
Olympic hero and training her wrestling, and then you got Floyd training her on boxing.
Intensity, integrity, and intelligence. The 3 eyes coming through. That's all you need when you're Kurt Angle. You and your medals.
They can come with her to the weigh-in.
Was it 7 gold medals Kurt Angle had?
I don't think so. I think he just won 1.
I don't know, man. I feel like it was multiple gold medals. That might be worth the Google, but...
No, you're talking about Michael Phelps in swimming. You can't win 7 in wrestling.
I don't know, man. Kurt Angle's a beast,
Yeah. Well, one thing that I noticed with UFC is the danger of the sport. I saw a headline today that Ronda Rousey is medically suspended for 180 days. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
So she got knocked out for half a year.
Yes. So yes, Ronda Rousey suspended for 6 months, but I got to tell you that made headlines because of who she is. Ronda Rousey is the biggest, most polarized athlete in the UFC, hands down. Their number one draw, the number one. She gets the most pay-per-view buys. She puts the most butts in seats. So everything she does is going to make news. But the truth of the matter is that there's a suspension list after every single UFC. fighters get knocked out. So they get benched for 6 months. That means that she cannot. She can do some training, but she can't do any sparring, any contact until the doctor clears her, and then she cannot compete. The commission won't allow her to compete for 6 months. Now, that can easily be blown out of proportion. Ronda was not intending on fighting anyway for another 6 months. She was going to take some time off. She has movies to film. She was going to take time off anyway, even if she won. She wasn't going to fight for 6 months. So I think it got blown a little bit out of proportion. There's a suspension list you could pull up. You can see all the other fighters that got suspended. The co-main event, you got Valerie Letourneau. She's probably going to be out for a minimum of 90 days. But yes, Ronda has been suspended for 6 months.
Don't you think that's kind of crazy, though, that you enter a fight that lasts about 7 minutes and then all of a sudden you can't fight again for 6 months because you got that messed up in those 7 minutes?
Well, it's all precautionary. So truly, we don't know. I don't think there's any data to support that if Ronda fought within another 30 days or 60 days that she could be, permanently injured. But this is all precautionary. They have to have some sort of a system in place to be in the best interest of the athletes. So, we're dealing with a situation where I'm sure, do they do this in football whenever a player gets concussed, that they have to take some time off?
Yeah, they do. It's usually not that drastic.
But the UFC, being an Ultimate Fighting Championship, people have this perception of this sport of being this ruthless, no holds barred, bare knuckle, brutal sport. And the truth of the matter is that the sport has its brutal factor. There are some brutal aspects to the sport, but there's also rules. There's a lot of technique, and it's not just a free-for-all in there where you can do whatever you want. There's tons of limitations and different ways to win that don't actually require any sort of serious danger or harm that you're putting your opponent in. With submissions, a lot of these grappling techniques and stuff, you're applying pressure, your opponent can tap before they're injured in any way. So it's not really about kicking your opponent in the head and then landing a couple of hammer fists before her Dean comes to save you. But that's what happened with Ronda, for sure.
Yeah, as far as I was listening to a podcast where Dana White was talking on Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, I listened to that today.
And he was saying that the fighters, when they get messed up, they get huge cuts and stuff. He doesn't take them to regular doctors because they're just worried about closing up the cut. He gets some plastic surgeons.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that you enter a fight, you get messed up, and you need plastic surgery.
Well, let's talk about how he came to that conclusion. Did you hear the personal story that he had with his daughter?
Yeah.
I mean, this is an outrageous story. So his daughter was sitting on the couch eating an ice cream cone, and he had a Mastiff, and the Mastiff was begging his daughter, his 7-year-old daughter, for the ice cream cone, and she told him no. He jumps up and bites her on the head and rips her ear off. It's hanging on by the lobe area of her ear, and so he contacts the best doctor or somebody he confided in and that he trusted, and it's like no. They told him basically no. You need a plastic surgeon. They can make it look like new. And so that's the route he went. His daughter's ear is perfect, and now that's pretty much the same philosophy. They've basically contracted or they've hired some plastic surgeons that handle all of the cosmetic attention, all the cosmetic needs of the fighters after the fight. So I just think it's smart. Whoever's going to be more concerned, and I think it's one of those things where they compared the plastic surgeon more to like an artist.
Right.
breaks. They're more.
It's like getting a haircut.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Bo-Rix or Supercuts,
they're
just gonna cut some hair off, shear you like a dog.
Yeah, yeah. If you're getting taken into prison and they're giving you a quick fade, just so that they can get you out the chair. It's gonna be different than if you're going to somebody that really is taking pride in their work. So that being said, yeah, UFC fighters are getting tended to by plastic surgeons, which is pretty interesting for sure.
Yeah.
What else did you take away from that podcast? I think it was a good podcast.
Well, let's give this game another go.
Yeah, I know people are tired of looking at this here. Can we pop a different game in?
Not during the middle of the recording.
Oh yeah.
This is the one you chose, so this is the one we gotta go with.
I didn't expect Chip to be so lame though.
I knew.
How am I supposed to get?
I don't
Mandy?
think it's a bad game. It just takes a level of concentration that we're not giving it.
I'm trying to get. I'm trying to holler at Mandy. Trying to help her with her kitten. Maybe she'll come over later and hang with Dale, but Chip keeps messing it up. So let's see what's up. So yeah, just to put a stamp on this conversation about UFC, I would like you to give a little bit more attention and interest to the UFC, because I think it's something that you would really enjoy if you watched. Because I know how you are. You like stats. You like to analyze the data, analyze the techniques, just the way you talk about football and the way you talk about sports in general. The UFC is a sport. It's not just who can knock out who. It's a lot of stuff to really delve into deep. So I think you should.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit ruthless.
Yeah, man.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, man. There's some brutal aspects to it. I think some of the most ruthless aspects of it is the backlash. Like Ronda Rousey, her fan base, half of these people just did a 180 on her. I don't know if you've seen the backlash she's gotten. You've got people like Lady Gaga coming out saying stuff about Ronda Rousey. You've got Donald Trump saying stuff about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's brutal. The girl just lost. She suffered her first loss. So not only is it kind of excessive that she's, getting it the way she is after one loss, but girl's never had to deal with this before. And you've got people coming out talking all kinds of smack about her. I can't deny that some of the internet memes have made me chuckle, just because that's the way memes work. They're goofy and sometimes they can be pretty brutal, but funny at the same time. But at the same time, man, it's like, get a girl a break.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she put her all that training and all that effort into the fight. So
Chip, get it together. You're
Hey, I'm trying.
You're hitting me with boxes. All right, relax.
I'm relaxed. Yeah, I don't really. The internet's a crazy place when you start reading what people have to say. I mean,
all right, jump.
You just threw me.
Yeah, let's just get up there.
There we go. So yeah, I think it's time. I think I'm dead already. I think it's time to move on to the next topic. Top 5 NFL quarterbacks is the way we see it in 2015 so far. Little past midway in the season.
Can we give a little bit of background about who our favorite quarterbacks and teams are, just for the listeners?
Yeah, so my favorite quarterback of all time is Peyton Manning.
All right, favorite quarterback of all time is a current quarterback for you.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, he's arguably the best quarterback of all time. He's got most of the quarterback records. This season, obviously is a lot different than his previous seasons.
Yeah, it's a question mark on Peyton.
And then Ben, he's from Louisiana, so his favorite team and quarterback's the Saints, and Drew Brees.
Oh man, who that nation?
Who that?
Who that said they gonna beat them Saints?
Who
Pretty
dat?
much every team in the NFL this year.
How's Rex Ryan doing as defense coordinator?
Oh man, Rex Ryan is on the couch with a open bag of Doritos right now, and he is trying to drown his sorrows in some Cool Ranch right now.
Cooler Ranch.
He's having a hard. He's not doing too well, but I think that it's time that their defense get a complete overhaul. I mean, if you look at the Saints, and I know we're talking quarterbacks, but Drew Brees, he's got targets on the offense. He's got a line. They've been putting points up, but they've been allowing teams to turn around and score on them in almost like every drive. It's insane. So definitely hopeful for new defense for the Saints.
All right, so let's talk about the top 5 quarterbacks. I think we could start. I think it's better if you start from the bottom, but I think it's easier to actually start from the guy you think is the best. And I think hands down, we're probably both gonna agree on who the best quarterback in the NFL is right now.
I don't know, man. I think we might not agree on this.
Hands down, it's Tom Brady.
I don't think so.
Oh my!
I don't think so.
What are you, scrub?
No, man.
Who's the best quarterback then?
Cam Newton.
Okay, you could make a case for that, I guess, but no.
All right, would you say those are the top 2?
The top 2. The way Cam Newton's playing so far, statistically, is not gonna wow you. But yeah, I mean he's managed the offense. He's got the dual threat. He can throw or pass. Cam Newton is definitely one I'll put in the top 5. But for right now, I'm just saying Brady's number 1.
Okay. So you got Brady at number 1. I got Killer Cam at number 1. Super Cam.
All right. So who do you have at number 2 then?
So I have Brady. I put Brady at number 2.
Brady at number 2. Okay. For me, number 2. Before the last few weeks, I would have said Aaron Rodgers.
Oh man, he can't be top 5. I don't even put him in the top 5 this season.
The Packers have been struggling,
and we're talking about current. We're talking about to date.
Yeah, we're talking about today. The Packers have been struggling. If your team's 9-0, obviously you're going to get more consideration, especially if you're a big part of it. So, going into this topic, I wasn't thinking much of Cam Newton, but I would have to say right now he's not my number 2. He's not my number 2.
So who is your number 2?
My number 2. I'm thinking about the teams that. Yeah,
you got Andy Dalton in your top 5.
Andy Dalton's not in my top 5. They just lost to the Texans last night.
Who's the quarterback for the Texans?
Or not last night, but the quarterback for the Texans is split between 2 guys, Brian Hoyer, and I forget the other guy's name that came in to get the win.
I was watching a game, and the commentary was about the quarterback that was in. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how he has to be a candidate for MVP this year.
Who?
I can't remember who it is. So I'm hoping you say their name in your top 5.
Well, my second quarterback right now is Carson Palmer.
Maybe
is that who you're thinking of?
Maybe that is who.
Carson Palmer's having a great season. The Cardinals.
Yes, it was Carson Palmer for the Cardinals.
If you remember last year, Arizona was having a fantastic season, and then he got injured.
Yes.
Drew Stanton came in. They made the playoffs. Drew Stanton did the best he could. I think they got a few wins, but he wasn't up to the caliber of Carson Palmer and, saying that this team has a chance at winning the Super Bowl. So my second quarterback right now is Carson Palmer.
I can feel you on that. I haven't been watching an incredible amount of football. I definitely have been checking out all the Saints games, checking out the Bears games, and whatever else is on at the time. but I haven't really been following up on all of it. Been into my fantasy football a little bit. So for me, the top 5 conversation is one where I'm just kind of going off a personal feeling, you know.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So am I even?
Who's your third then?
You know, I like quarterbacks that aren't scared to run the ball, but that do it well. And so no, I'm not gonna just say Russell Wilson or you know, one of those quarterbacks, but I watched Andy Dalton play, and he was putting, you know, he was getting some yardage on his own, and I kind of appreciated that about him. But they lost to the Texans, and what is their record at now?
They're 8-1. It was their first loss.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to say he's been doing good things for his team, and I know he's been racking up a lot of points for the fantasy team. I don't know. I would put Andy Dalton up there.
All right, that's
Carson
fine.
Palmer is in there too, though. So I got Brady. I got Cam at 1, Brady at 2, Andy Dalton and Carson Palmer are my top 4.
Okay, so for 3, I would go with Cam Newton. For my 4th, I would. That's where I would go with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I know they've struggled, but you know, there's times where people consider him the best quarterback in the NFL, and you know, he's looked like that at some times in the season, but lately not so much. But Aaron Rodgers is still up there for me.
Oh man, you know, for all my friends back in Louisiana right now, if I don't put Drew Brees in the top 5, I might get some calls after this thing goes live. But I mean, I got to be realistic here. It's not been a good season for the Saints. Drew Brees has broken records for the most consecutive touchdowns at home. I mean, I think he broke the record for the most points scored in 2 games cumulative.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still breaking records with a losing record. That's pretty substantial.
He had 7 touchdown passes in one game.
I know. I mean, it's hard to deny that even if your defense sucks and your team is losing, that if you're able to break those kinds of records, that has to be saying something.
So, yeah, my 5th would be Drew Brees. He's just, you know, the team's losing. Look how bad the defense is. I mean, it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
So Drew Brees would be my 5th. Is that your 5th?
Yeah, man. That's what I said. I'm gonna have to go with.
That might change. There's tons of football left.
So the only variation that you and I had in our top 5 is I had Andy Dalton. You had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're putting Aaron Rodgers, I mean Andy Dalton over Aaron Rodgers, I think that's.
Hey, we're talking about current season now.
Obviously, if we're talking about best of all time current quarterbacks, then I'm putting Peyton number 1.
You're putting Peyton number 1. I'm putting Drew Brees number 1.
Hey, you know what? I looked at some statistics the other day once Drew Brees had that 7 touchdown game.
Yeah. And
he was like a touchdown pass under Brady, and he's a year younger.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he keeps playing, he could be up there and try and break some records with Tom. You know, him and Tom Brady go for Peyton records, but they're still way off. I mean, they got a couple years ahead of them if they're going to. Like, I'm talking 2 or 3 years if they're gonna threaten those records. So we'll see what happens.
Well, if Drew Brees can stay healthy, as long as he's got good targets. You know, Benjamin Watson has stepped up as a tight end. To be a good target for him. Brandon Cooks, Willie Snead. You know, what he's really missing is a reliable running back that can catch the ball as well. You know, Mark Ingram is not one of those pass rushers. Is that what they call him? He's a running back that really, you know, is a threat as well.
Yeah.
And CJ Spiller.
Oh no, he's a passing. You know, he catch passes out of the backfield.
Yeah, CJ Spiller just, you know, breaks my heart. I wish that guy, you know, was more consistent as an offensive threat, but, you know, what are you going to do? So, as long as he's got the targets and he can stay healthy, I think that he's going to be breaking more records. I just wish he had a defense that he could trust whenever he was off the field.
Yeah. So I think we both had a respectable top 5 in the NFL as of right now. So let's move on to our final topic as you continue to beat levels without me in the game. It seems to be easier just one player.
Yeah, I don't have you bop me in the back of the head with boxes when I'm trying to save the kitten from the tree.
Yeah. So our last topic is trading card games, but really it's something that you wanted to talk about, which is an online trading card kind of game, and that's Hearthstone, right? You want to talk about it?
You know, the reason why I want to talk about this game is more so not just about the game itself, but really just about something I was thinking about. I was just thinking about situations that I'm probably not the most patient person. One thing I hate doing is standing in line. I cannot stand standing in line. Go to a concert, you gotta wait outside in the line. That just drives me insane. Or trying to get into a club, I'll just not even go to the club if there's a line. That's just kind of how I've always been. I just cannot tolerate standing in a long line.
Where are you going with this?
Where I'm going with this is I had to stand in a line waiting on TSA, and it was just not a terrible experience because I had Hearthstone to play. And Hearthstone's just a game, for the phone, and it just made me realize it's like not necessarily just this particular game, but smartphone entertainment is totally changing. I think it's meeting, I wouldn't say a need or even necessarily demand, but it's finding its value with just killing time. Like you got some time to kill, check this game out. So anyway, Hearthstone's a game I've been playing, and I tried to get you to check it out. You downloaded it a little bit, but you weren't really feeling it. Oh wait, that's not actually true. You were feeling it, but you just knew you would be playing it too much.
Yeah, it once you told me to download it, I downloaded it, and I kind of played the tutorial. I thought it was a good game. It's just, with my personality the way it is, I didn't want it to take up all my time. Because I thought it was very similar to playing Pokemon cards, and that's something I've played in the past, and love the game, but just didn't want it to consume, so much time in what I was doing.
So what's your history with trading card games? You play Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I mean to be honest, that's really the only game that I've played. I haven't really even, I've tried kind of like, I guess like the Marvel one that came out, I maybe tried it once. There was like a Ninja Turtles one that came out that wasn't very good. I tried that, but Pokemon's trading card games only really the one that caught my interest, because I played the Game Boy game back in the day and had fun with that. And I just, I thought that the characters were cool that they created, and I kind of like that they had elements involved in who could knock out what and their weaknesses. So it was just it was a cool game. And I always liked trading cards in general, more so like basketball cards, baseball cards, and then a little bit of football cards.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought those were cool. But when I was looking back on it, like what I used to like when I was younger, I'm like, I can't do anything with these cards. Like, I could just look at them, I could turn them over on the back. Sometimes they put the stats on there from, what they did in their career, and that's cool. But you really couldn't do nothing with them. And then when I was thinking about Pokemon cards, I'm like, well, you could do something with these cards. You could build them in a deck. You could go play other people. You go to tournaments, and I had fun doing that.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. Pokemon cards was probably it was the second trading card game I got into. I was into Magic the Gathering, and I played a little bit of a Star Wars trading card game, um, very briefly. I played a little bit of Dragon Ball Z card game as well.
Yeah, those are all games that most people have heard of, and I don't know why people choose one over another. Magic's been huge. I guess maybe just the card style and what the cards say, just didn't interest me for. This is a tough part for you.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess Pokemon cards is like straightforward, and I feel like that's what Hearthstone is too. It's just like straightforward math with a little bit of different things you could do within the cards.
Yeah,
and
so
that's what I liked about it.
So without a doubt, the game is super.
Oh,
simple. Game over, baby. Game is super simple. I mean, it's
Two
simple.
continues. I'm back finally
For a start.
after all these years.
Maybe we'll beat the game now. So yeah, the game's super simple. Hearthstone is like, anybody can pick this game up. You just gotta read the cards. You just gotta learn what the stuff means. It doesn't take a long time. You just gotta, be patient at first to, memorize all the, what all the stuff means, and then you're in there. And I like the game a lot. I play the game every day, whether it be just, to do my quest. You get a little daily quest. Sometimes the quest is just to spectate one of your friends playing. Sometimes the quest is to, win with a certain class. But you have different classes. You got like the shaman. You got the priest. Those are my two favorites. Did you ever play with the shaman?
No, I didn't even got that involved in it to really know what any of the cards are. I just remember playing it. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I understand it, but I just cannot get dedicated to this game because it's so easy. It's on your smartphone, and I think those are the games that I still like to play on my smartphone, are like the turn-based games, because you don't have to deal with the touch screen as a control pad. So those are the games that I'm attracted to on the smartphone. But I could see myself just sitting there at my desk at work and just playing that game. That's why I don't get into it, so I'm not doing stuff like that. Because, I gotta be productive.
Hey, just throw your box straight up. Get off the switch. Throw the box straight up. There you go. Alright, I got it.
It's tough. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You gotta be quick in this game. So,
Come on down.
will I ever get into Hearthstone? I don't know, maybe. There's some potential there. It's just, I don't... Oh, man. That was just a horrible jump.
It's all good, man. It's a video game. That's why they exist, for you to get demolished.
So, it's kind of why, I don't play trading cards now, because I still like the game. I still like, Pokemon cards. Still interesting, but I can't keep playing it just because, especially with that game where you have to build your own deck if you do play competitive. And like that would just make my mind wander all day, because I'm like, oh, if I could just put in this tech card, then I could beat this so-and-so deck.
Alright,
get out of my face.
We
We finally made it to this, dude, and you're just killing me.
You gotta get...
Oh no, it's raining balls.
You gotta get in the gap.
All these
It's
balls.
my gap. It's my gap.
You're just letting me die.
Alright. So, yeah, I don't have a lot to add about the game. I think that it's a really simple game to play. It's free to play, but, obviously if you want to be really good, you're going to have to invest some money in some of the challenges. They have these different
Oh,
story
no.
challenges.
Oh no, I'm not investing money.
$29.99.
digital.
Let's go.
I'm not investing any money in that digital.
Tom, you have a really strong opinion on digital content.
I do.
You do. Is this a topic for another day? We're an hour and 19 minutes in.
We could talk about it.
I know you can talk about it all day. You might want to save it for next time.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time.
Yeah, maybe I'll come over and download some new games on your Wii U and we can play them.
Oh no. You're putting your credit card in.
So
you know what?
What's up?
You could have brought over your hard drive and plugged in my Wii U, and we could have played the games you downloaded, right?
All right, Tom. You made
Oh wait, you can't do that, right? I forgot. Oh, but you could have brought over that Yoshi's Woolly World, and we could have put it in and played that, right?
Yeah, we could have done that.
Oh wow, it's pretty novel idea, isn't it?
You know, you bring up a good point. It's the convenience. It's not having to wait, getting the game instant. You know, you just say, yep, I want it. You just click on it and it downloads straight to the system. That's super convenient. But I got what you're saying. You know, having the actual disc, you can take it over your friend's house. You can plug it in. Whereas I would have to bring my whole system over. As far as this game is concerned,
I'm trying to play it.
we made it. We made it. You got to press forward. There you go.
We're doing it.
We're not gonna beat this game.
No. Yeah, so I think we talked about some good topics. And
Yep, and game
I'm
over.
more-
Thanks everybody.
I'm worn out of Chip and Dale. It is a game that I kind of like, and I just have to concentrate a little bit more when I'm playing it. This is it's hard to talk about things and play this game. So until next time.